During the 5th century AD, Timgad was conquered and Christianized by the Germanic people known as the Vandals, who took control of the Romans' African provinces. A century later, the region was reclaimed by the armies of the Byzantine Empire. Timgad was finally abandoned after the great cultural upheaval of the 7th century AD, when the Arab armies, newly united under the banner of Islam, swept across North Africa. And this, we would say, is the coming of Islam. I have a video there, and as I mentioned in my last little video, although I realized then my image was actually covering it in the corner, but you'll often find these blue links within the PowerPoint. So you can go back and you can access those. So the next thing I'm showing you is Kewa. And this is in North Africa, in Tunisia, and it is a mosque, a great mosque. And a mosque is where people who are Muslim go to pray. This is an important mosque because it's the oldest one, and then it was replicated many, many times throughout North Africa. We have a courtyard and then the central prayer hall here, and then we have these domes. And the domes reference the heavens and are a metaphor for the divine order of the universe. We also have this structure here. This is known as a minaret. In other mosques, we see usually it's much thinner and often even taller, but a minaret is used to call the devoted to prayer. That is the purpose of that. If we look at some traditional Berber architecture, they discovered that if you dig down partially into the ground and then you make these structures out of mud, and then they whitewash them to seal them, that the inside of these buildings stays an even temperature, even when it's super hot during the day and actually cold at night. So during the day, it stays cool. At night, it stays warm. And women decorate these structures, and some of the patterns that are repeated within the art are called lozengers. Like you would think, like, you have a cough shop, it's a lozenger. Same word here. So they have these kind of lozenger patterns that we'll see, and then some other things are, we have a hand that is repeated, and it alludes to the number 5, because 5 fingers, and it is a spiritual defense against misfortune and taps into the supernatural power. That's what's believed. And we also have the shape of an eye of power that is a protector. So we begin to see these patterns that are repeated. And we also see these in the pottery. And the pottery, really, there's not a tremendous amount of research that's been done on the pottery. But as I was just saying about the rugs and other pieces of art that were in the last image, we have these shapes, these patterns that repeat. So, for example, we have these triangles that are repeating here. Remember, triangles allude to women in the art, and they seem to be quite similar today from, hundreds of years ago. They really haven't changed in like 2,000 years. We see the very same continuation of these patterns and symbolic beliefs that are linked to them. So here's a Berber rug. This is a great example. Really high quality Berber rugs, and we have 5 tiny diamonds stacked vertically. And again, 5 is a very symbolic number for them. And it may be a motif known as the tree of life that's shown in this example. And then we have the zigzags referencing a fishtail and an ancient blessing and power. And the next thing I'm showing you here is perhaps the most visually compelling example of Berber architecture. These are the fortress walls that are created out of mud, and these are khazars. And this is the khazar in Morocco. And a few people still live here, but there's no running water, there's no electricity, nothing like that. So I, as a person who lives in New York City and I'm very used to our modern amenities, I don't think I could live in a place like this. It's constructed of pounded adobe bricks or stone plastered with clay. But in this example I'm showing you here, it is in fact adobe brick. And they're found in the river valleys of the southwestern slopes of the Atlas Mountains. The particular one here I'm showing you has, since 1987, been a UNESCO World Heritage Site.